The Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Indigo Disc DLC recently released and brought back a bunch of strong returning legendary Pokemon. Darkrai is finally back in the game and is actually legal in OU after more than a decade of being locked away in Ubers. This is incredibly exciting because we've never had this Pokemon in OU, so no one really knew what to expect. However, Generation 9 instilled a major power creep with the introduction of Paradox Pokemon, overpowered abilities like Supreme Overlord, and more, leaving Darkrai kind of lost in the metagame. Is Darkrai still good, or has his power level been surpassed completely? Let's find out. We have to ask the question. Darkrai bros, is it over? No. No, it is not. But we do have to discuss this very unique Pokemon and all of its good and bad characteristics in this video. This is a Pokemon that is definitely confusing to a lot of people, man. Darkrai finally back, because everybody was hyped for Darkrai to finally return, and then it did come back, and now everyone's like, what does this thing even do? Dang, I really wish I had a King Gambit on my side. So we're here to dispel all the rumors, all the myths, the real, action-packed Darkrai video talking about what is this Pokemon? Is this thing good? Is it bad? Did it really fall off after it was locked away for 10 plus years in Ubers? Let's find out. So first off, let's give a little overview of Darkrai. You look at his stats, these are some pretty great stats. It's always had an amazing speed stat, an amazing special attack stat. However, its main stab is Dark Pulse, which is kind of weak. 80 base power. It does not have a dual typing as well, which definitely hurts it on the offensive side. It does have good coverage, Ice Beam, Focus Blast, Sludge Bomb. It has access to Thunder as well, but for some reason they do not give this thing Thunderbolt. You can see the set I have here is Choice Scarf, which uses Trick as well, which is pretty nice. Support with Will-O-Wisp, Thunder Wave. So Darkrai is definitely not lacking when it comes to a move pool. It definitely has a lot of different options. However, even with all of these different tools at Darkrai's disposal, it suffers a lot of competition in the OU tier from all the other dark types. I believe that there's at least 5 or 6 dark types off the top of my head that are superior to Darkrai, if not exactly on its level. King Gambit is for sure better. Roaring Moon, Dragon Dance Sweeper is extremely scary, definitely more threatening than Darkrai. Samurott Hisui I would say is better than Darkrai because of just how good Ceaseless Edge is. Ting-Lu, Support Menace. Meowscarada is in UU, but I would say that it is probably better than Darkrai as well, given that it just got access to Triple Axle, making it a really big threat. You go down lower, alright, then we get more fraudulent Pokemon, but even stuff like Weavile is definitely, on the level of Darkrai. So you can see that while Darkrai is a great Pokemon, amazing special attack, speed, coverage, all that stuff we were just talking about, it's only a pure dark type, and all of the other Pokemon really give it competition. Talk about Hisui and Samurott, that has Ceaseless Edge, right? And a dual typing with water, which gives it a lot of benefits. King Gambit, another dual type, dark type, has access to Supreme Overlord, one of the greatest sweepers in our metagame. It's very hard for Darkrai to pull up here with just its pure dark typing, which does it no favors offensively. All it can really use is this 80 base power Dark Pulse, which is not a good enough stab move to just be thrown around. It really needed something stronger, like Night Days or something. They needed to give this. If they were going to nerf Dark Void, Game Freak, you needed to give Darkrai a special move like Dark Blast or something. Because come on, 80 base power and then not even a dual typing. The reason Pokemon like Dragapult can get away with spamming Shadow Ball off that weak special attack is because they also have access to Draco Meteor, Fire Blast, all that good stuff. Darkrai, if its main stab is Dark Pulse, this is not the move you want to be locked into on a choiced set. That's why Specs I have last here. Do I even have Specs? Damn, I literally took Specs off. You can make a Specs Darkrai set, but most of the time it's completely inferior to running Nasty Plot. So let's go through some of these Darkrai sets, because I know I'm making it sound all doom and gloom, but no, Darkrai is still pretty crazy, alright? He still has a lot of different options. Going through the sets, Choice Scarf is what I consider to be the best set. Dark Pulse, Ice Beam, Trick, Will-O-Wisp, just max special attack, max speed. Yep, I've had a lot of success with this set, honestly. Darkrai sits at a disgusting speed tier 383, which means you're faster than Booster Valiant. Roaring Moon at +1. What's another guy? Iron Boulder, who is the new fastest Pokemon on the block with 124 base speed plus booster energy. You actually do outspeed that by just a couple points. You can knock that thing out with a Dark Pulse. You need Chip though, because Iron Boulder has good Spit F. And like I said before, even with 135 special attack stat, Dark Pulse is a really weak move. Ice Beam is pretty nice though. Rounds off the coverage well. We've seen dark and ice coverage, work on Weavile in the past. It works on Darkrai now, and it's also going to be spammed on Meowscarada now that it got Triple Axle alongside Knockoff. But yeah, Dark Pulse, Ice Beam, very common coverage. Trick is actually really nice on Darkrai because it is so fast that you are able to get this trick off on whatever you want. Also, most of the Pokemon that would switch into Trick, like Golden Go, do not want to come in on Dark Pulse. Other options are what? If they want to go Gliscor can't come in and get one hit KO'd by Ice Beam. Will-O-Wisp is a good support option as well if you don't really have a good move to click or you can't one hit KO the Pokemon in front of you. Sometimes Will-O-Wisp will be enough to just, you know, take care of that. Now, if you were going to run specs, you would probably end up running something like, you can't even run Thunderbolt, right? I forgot. You'd probably end up running something like this, or you would have like Sludge Bomb or Thunder. I mean, this thing does have a lot of different options. However, I don't think specs is good. You're better off just running Nasty Plot and trying to go for like a mini sweep. Like the power boost of 1.5 from specs, but then you're locked into the move is not good enough. Because if you ever lock into Dark Pulse, Roaring Moon is about to come in and set up on you. Or you Dark Pulse into Ting Lu, you do 11%, all the hazards go up. You don't want to be in that situation. So, in my opinion, Scarf is the only way to run a choice set. Now, for the other 3 sets, I literally just have different versions of Nasty Plot. Nasty Plot Heavy Duty Boots is basically what you're going to see the most when you see a Nasty Plot Darkrai, because this is the most consistent item. Darkrai is unfortunately susceptible to every single entry hazard, so this can be a good item. Personally though, I like Blunder Policy a little bit more. I'm not going to say Boots is bad. In fact, Boots is pretty solid because, like we just said, you don't want your Darkrai to come in on Stealth Rock plus a Layer Spike. It's already at 75%. You're not going to get up any opportunity to set up in the first place. But I have found with Blunder Policy, especially after the video I just posted, that, you know, it does give you way more of a reason to click Hypnosis. And that kind of brings me to my other point with Darkrai. A big reason this Pokemon fell off and is not as good as it used to be is because if you don't run Hypnosis on Darkrai, this thing basically has no ability. Bad Dreams was a crazy ability back in the day because Dark Void was 80% accurate. You'd sleep the Pokemon, they'd stay asleep, and you'd get that automatic 1/8 chip on their HP. Now, Darkrai, because of Dark Void's nerf, it doesn't have a good sleep move besides Hypnosis, which is a terrible sleep move. First of all, 60% is garbage. However, if you want to make use of Bad Dreams, you have to use that move. So Darkrai otherwise has no ability, which is a huge nerf, especially when we compare it to a lot of the Pokemon that we have in OU right now. All these Paradox Pokemon with this booster energy bullshit. You got Supreme Overlord. You got Samurott with Sharpness, which gives both of its stab moves. Meowscarada with Protean. I mean, there's like a lot of crazy abilities right now. So for Darkrai to pull up with 600 BST and then also not have an ability, is, you know, it's kind of nerfed itself, like, to a really terrible degree, which is why I like Blunder Policy Hypnosis, because it gives you a reason to click Hypnosis. If you don't hit Hypnosis, fuck it, we're now at 700 speed, hopefully we're ready to sweep. And if you do hit Hypnosis, well, now they're asleep, you get your Bad Dreams chip, and you potentially get a chance to set up, so I like that a lot. I also put Wide Lens here because, I mean, it'll up your chance to hit Hypnosis, and it makes your Thunder a little bit more accurate as well, but honestly, that's kind of more of a novelty set. I do think Nasty Plot Blunder Policy, though, is definitely legit. Don't sleep. And we'll see if other, you know, Darkrai sets do come into play as time goes on. For the most part, though, I do like Scarf and Nasty Plot the most. Now, we gotta compare Darkrai to the other Pokemon in the metagame to see where exactly does this guy fall. Now, I did talk about Darkrai's defenses earlier. The offensive stats are great, but 70, 90, 90 means it's not really going to be able to take a hit from most Pokemon. Pure Dark typing means, again, we're not really resisting anything besides what? Ghost type attacks, Dark type attacks, and the HP is pretty bad, so it's not like you're going to be able to switch this thing into King Gambit's Katao Cleave and get out of that situation unscathed. So if we look at the viability rankings, you can see a lot of these Pokemon are basically able to beat Darkrai in a 1v1. Deoxys Speed and Dragapult are faster. They can knock that thing out with Superpower or Draco Meteor, respectively. Enamorous, most Enamouruses right now are Scarf because everybody is spamming that Stellar set with Stellar Terra plus Terra Blast, and then you get the +1/+1. So Enamorous kind of destroys you in that sense. Golden Go, Darkrai does check Golden Go, however, Dark Pulse isn't even a guaranteed KO on 0 HP Gold. I believe, yeah, it's 92 to 109. So, you know, you have a good chance. Why is it saying 75%? Is that correct? How is that 75 if it's saying 92 to 109? That's not 75. This is literally wrong math. Am I bugging? Let me know in the comments if I'm bugging. But that's literally not 75% chance. Whatever, it doesn't matter. The point is, Darkrai, you need to get your weight up. When we get Dark Blast in Gen 9 and it's a 95 base power high crit dark move, y'all are gonna remember me. Y'all are gonna remember me. Did you even see the calc on the screen? Was it showing up correctly? Hold on, was it? Yeah, it was. Okay, I was bugging. I almost short circuited. Great Tusk is a Pokemon you need Ice Beam to kill, but if it's booster speed, it can take care of you. Iron Boulder can't OHKO you without a fighting type move, but they do run that a lot. Then you got Roaring Moon, which is going to definitely want to KO you with Acrobatics, like booster energy. Zamazenta, which is faster and KOs you, Volk, which can take a +2. So a lot of these Pokemon do have a way to beat Darkrai. However, Darkrai, you know, it has a multitude of sets too. Scarf can revenge kill a lot of these Pokemon with Dark Pulse or Ice Beam. Actually, basically all of them can get revenge killed by Scarf Darkrai or neutralized pretty well by Trick. So can't count it out in that regard. It's just that versus offense, Nasty Plot has a really difficult time unless you are that blunder policy set. Another thing is that, yeah, Darkrai does have 125 speed now, so it is really fast. Well, not now, it's always had it. It is really fast. However, a lot of guys got fast. Dragapult, Zamazenta, Deoxys Speed, these are 3 of the best Pokemon in the metagame, and all 3 of these guys are better than Darkrai. That's a fact. No one's going to even debate that these 3 are better Pokemon than Darkrai. So for all 3 of those to be better than you, and they're faster than you, that kind of takes one of your greatest, you know, niches away in the metagame. Weavile speed ties you, Boulder has booster energy to outspeed you if you're not Scarf, and then you're definitely faster than a lot of the other ones, but booster Pokemon definitely give this guy a hard time. Valiant and Roaring Moon specifically, because like there's no reason not to run those Pokemon on your offensive teams. And you know, then you have a Darkrai that's weak to like all of their moves. It's tough. Even Raging Bolt, new Pokemon that pulled up, has a great Spit F stat, insane HP, runs Calm Mind plus Thunderclap. Darkrai finds itself hard pressed versus this. Something interesting I saw when I was reading about Darkrai on the forums is I saw 2 posts from OU council members. So I saw this post from Finchinator, posted this on Monday. He said day 2 thoughts. So of course, opinions can change over time. We'll see what people think about Darkrai. But he said that Darkrai, this Pokemon, is surprisingly mid. He said it's plenty viable, sure, but it's not broken or even close in my opinion. Very glad we dropped it to OU. Just looking at it in a pretty positive light, which I agree. A lot of people have been asking for Darkrai to drop down with this generation. I mean, I've been thinking since Generation 7. Not that I wanted it to come back in Generation 7. Let me finish. But in Generation 7, when we got the introduction of the Steel Fairy type, right? Is that... No, we got that in Gen 6 with Mega Mawile. But Steel Fairy is like the most broken typing ever. So when we got Magearna in the mix, I was like, Darkrai could definitely be, you know... It could definitely be handled by something like Magearna. Assault Vest Magearna was spammed on every team back in Generation 7. Dark Void also, I think, got nerfed around that time. Actually, I'm not completely sure. Let me go look it up. Yeah, so Dark Void got nerfed in Generation 7 down to 50%. So honestly, even then, we could have probably tested it. Maybe it was broken, but hey, in that Magearna meta, especially with this thing not being able to sleep anything, they might have to bring my boy back. He's lacking. This pure Dark type is not cutting it. But yeah, the other post was also by another OU council member, Lily. I saw this post down here, all the way at the bottom. This was a crazy post. Says, it's just ass, dude. I don't know what to say. I used it in OUPL, which is one of Smogon's OU tournaments, and tested a ton with it, and it's just not broken at all. Like, yeah, it's got great coverage and good offensive stats, but when your only stab is Dark Pulse, it gets real dire because you do 40 to Iron Moth and die, and everything sucks. Just free him and let the player base be underwhelmed because nobody's going to believe it's okay until they see how mid it actually is. It's a crazy post. That's how it feels. Darkrai is pretty weak with that 80 base power stab. So the community is frustrated, Darkrai. You've let us down, and we need to know what is the right way to run this Pokemon. Chat, let me know below in the comments. What do you guys think of Darkrai? Has this Pokemon been phased out? Power creep has it just been too much in Generation 9? Or is this thing not being utilized correctly? Personally, I think this is a good Pokemon. I don't think it's at the top of the metagame at all. I don't think it's in the S rank of Pokemon. I don't even think it's in the A+ rank of Pokemon. There's a lot of Dark type Pokemon that I would pick over this almost always, like Gambit and Samurott and Roaring Moon. However, it does have its place as a special attacking Dark Pokemon. It's just, I don't know, Darkrai's in an awkward spot. I do think as the weeks go on, the metagame is very fresh. We'll kind of see a better role for this guy, but for now, Darkrai might be a little bit on fraud watch. But that's about it, what I got for today's video. A little discussion joint. Let me know in the comments below what you think. We'll see y'all later for the stream. Agency, go check the merch out as well. Take care. Peace.